Hey, what's up? It is your guy. Mark my words. We back in the building where it's facts over feelings, all right? So if it is your first time on this live, tonight we're going to talk about relationship situations with men that are obviously partnered up and going through a couple things. Now, if it's your first time on this page, first time on the live, I talk about masculinity. We talk about relationships, fatherhood, things like spirituality, honesty, integrity, respect, so on and so forth. So come on in, sit on down, and enjoy yourself tonight. We're going to be on here for about 30 minutes. Now, if anything that I say tonight resonates with you on a deeper level and you want to look into possibly getting some one-on-one coaching with me, go down to the description, book a call. We'll get on the line. We'll talk about it a little bit. But if you are somebody that just has a question or some type of situation that you want to see featured on a Q&A that I do every night at 8 p.m., go to my email, coachmark22@gmail.com. That is coachmark with a C, 22@gmail.com. Drop me an email, drop me a letter or something. Let me know how you're feeling, and I'll get you on one of these Q&As, all right? I'm definitely keeping it anonymous. So sit down, get relaxed, share the post, and let's go, right? So normally I'll come on here and I'll talk about a couple questions. I'll give you some rapid fire questions that people email me. But tonight there was a longer letter that somebody had emailed me, and so I wanted to bring it to you, get what and see what your thoughts were about it, and give some advice to this young man. All right. So we're gonna get into it in just a second. So I always want to ask you politely, all right, to like and subscribe to the channel. That lets me know I'm doing the right thing and that I'm talking about the right topics. All right. If I don't get likes or subscriptions, I don't know that I'm putting out the right content. Okay. So that really helps me. Then on top of that, if you like the episode and you like the information that's coming out, please share the episode. Listen, when you share the episodes with someone else, that just tells them that you care about them a little bit. You got some information that you thought would be valuable to them, and you never know what somebody might take from a video or a live that you send them. They might get something totally different than what you get. So it's just a good idea to always send that to somebody, let them get some of the information too. All right. So let's be stewards with our information. Okay. So I'm gonna get to this letter right now. Subject: feeling outnumbered in my own home. Hi, I'm a 35-year-old stepfather, and I've been married to my wife for 2 years now. We met shortly after her divorce, and while things between us have been strong, parenting has been the biggest challenge in our relationship. She has two boys, ages 7 and 10. I came into their lives with the intention of being a steady, respectful male role model, not trying to replace their father, just to support them and help raise them right. In the beginning, things were smoother, and we presented a united front. But lately, it feels like the bond between me and my wife and the boys has become a wall I can't get through. Whenever I try to enforce boundaries or correct bad behavior, both boys push back hard, sometimes with attitudes, other times just ignoring me altogether. What's worse is my wife doesn't seem to back me up. She thinks I'm too strict or not understanding enough, and now I feel like I'm the villain in my own home. I didn't expect this to be easy, but I also didn't expect to feel this disconnected and outnumbered. I'm trying to be patient, but honestly, I'm starting to wonder if I'm doing more damage than good by stepping in at all. So we're gonna get into this in just a second, y'all, because listen, I know a lot of you guys are playing the stepfather role, you know what I mean? And it's a valuable role. It's a valuable role, but it's tough at the same time. It's not easy. It's not easy to step in and play the role that the kids are unfamiliar with. All right. So I know a lot of you guys have feelings about being in a stepfather role, but it's an admirable one when it all comes down to it. All right. So we're needed. Now, just getting back to what he said, he's known his wife for a few years now, and they got married a couple years ago. Just to give you guys a synopsis, they have a 7 and a 10-year-old. Okay. So he comes in the house. He's stepdad. He comes with a different parenting style than mom, obviously. And at first, things were going very, very well, he said. Things were going very, very well. All right. That's very important because a lot of times we'll start out a situation, things will be good. We're thinking we're doing a great job. And then we find out later that maybe we're not. Okay. So things are going really, really great. Everything seems to be cool. Lately, right? He's been having to lay the law down, and he's getting pushback from the kids, right? They're giving outbursts, they're acting up, they're not respecting his law. And it seems like now when he's going to his wife, she's not standing behind him like she was before. She's not standing beside him like she was before. So it's causing a big rift in her household. And he's wondering if he made a bad choice. All right. So what I like to do is, man, first of all, always be sensitive to both parties involved, because everybody was brought up differently, and then put ourselves in each person's shoes, because sometimes we just don't realize how we're affecting people in different ways, right? So for lack of better terms. Now, most people that get into a stepfather type of role or stepmother, they're coming into a family that's already made, right? And we're not just talking biologically. These kids have a bedtime, they have a wake up time, they have a morning routine, they have dinner time, they have toys that they play with, they have games they play with, they have friends' houses that they go to, right? It's a ready-made family. They already have a system going on. So when a step parent comes into the picture, things change a bit, right? Things change a bit, because on the weekend they might have been watching cartoons all day Saturday. Here you go watching college football. On Sunday they might sleep till 2 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock now you're talking about, yo, you guys got to get up, we got yard work to do, right? So things change. The holidays change. The holiday schedule changes. They might have been used to opening presents and staying at their house all day for Christmas. Now they're going with you to your mom's house. They're going with you to your sister's house. And although they have fun, although they have a great time, it's different. Okay? It's different. We have to realize that the kids have gone through a change. And even mom has gone through a change, right? Even though it's a positive one, it's still a change. We can get a new car, but for a while, we're a little bit out of sorts because we're used to our old car, even though this new car is much, much better in every way. But it's still a change. You understand? Okay. So normally, when mom has boys, mom allows boys to do things that dad probably doesn't, right? And these guys, and listen, we often try to pin mom and dad against each other as if one's better than the other. Kids need both their parents. They need both parents. They need a mother and they need a father. Mother brings certain things to the table that kids need, and the father brings things to the table that kids need. No one is more important. And during different phases of their life, they gravitate toward one or the other more. When boys are younger, they gravitate towards mom. They get a little older, they gravitate towards dad. Then they revert back to mom at some point, late teenage years, and then early 20s, go back to being around dad a lot. That's how it goes. Okay. So you have to understand that no matter how long she was divorced, or it does matter how long she was divorced, but there was a period of time where they did not have a father in the home all the time. It doesn't matter how much they spent time with their dad, because you'll hear a lot of people say, well, their dad is involved. You know what I mean? He's in the situation. But if he's not in the house, that's different. It's different when you're not in the actual home. Okay. So there's certain things that they're allowed to do, certain ways that they've developed, certain habits that they now have that they might not have had if there was a father figure in the home. Also, mom is not going to be as hard on them as you are. Of course, she says she's very hard. I don't let my kids get away with nothing. There's certain little things that a man is not going to allow boys to do, because he understands that they're going to be young men at some point and then grown men. So he's not going to allow them just to do whatever they want to do, even though the things seem a little small to mom. And once again, they're two different parents. Most mothers and fathers have different parenting styles. Now, aside from that, mom and dad probably grew up a little different. There's a different dynamic in each home. So mom might have had one parent, mom might have had two parents. She might have had grandparents around all the time. She could have been raised by her aunt. Stepfather's coming in, man, he might have been raised just by his dad. He might have had foster parents. You never know. People's upbringing have a lot to do with how they parent children right now. So there are differences that are very hard to shake, because if you were brought up a certain way for 18 years, then you're 28 years old now and you're being a parent for the first time, perhaps, it's very hard to shake the habits that you learn growing up. So let's jump into it. Now, one of the issues I think is that, bro, when you come in the picture, Mom is the head of the household. The kids are used to listening to mom all the time. So what happens is now there's another voice, there's an authoritative voice, and if you're a masculine man, you're a leadership voice. Okay, so now you're deciding where you guys go to eat. You're deciding what time everybody gets up and gets moving in the house. You're deciding whose house you guys are going to on Thanksgiving. A lot of the things that you're deciding to do now, because you're trying to be a leader, which is a good thing, were things that they were normally seeing that their mom do. So the change of leadership is very tough on boys. Just like when you guys get a new supervisor, a new manager, new ownership at your job, it's tough for a minute because you got used to your old manager. You got used to your old supervisor. So you were used to how they did things. And when a new person comes in, you're not used to it. They're not used to how a man does things, right? And even if they're used to how dad does things at his house, biological dad, you're probably completely different from him because most of the time, women don't go after the same exact type of man that they had before. Why would they do that? If they didn't get along with him, if the marriage didn't work out with that type of guy, they're probably going to go the complete opposite way. So when she meets you, you're probably the complete opposite of her ex-husband. So now the kids have gotten used to a certain type of man, but you're a different type of man. Not saying one's better than the other, but you're just different, right? He might be into hunting and fishing. You might be into sports. That's different. You understand? He might think it's okay to carry guns openly, and you might think we need more gun control. It's different, right? So it's a good chance that you're a lot different from the man that they know, right? So you combine that with the years that they've been in the house with just mom, with being able to be a little bit more relaxed because, yes, mom has rules and mom has discipline, but she disciplines over different things than what you think should be disciplined about, right? You might not care how they keep their rooms, but you care how loud they are when they're in the living room. You might not care if they eat snacks at 12 o'clock at night, but you care if they sleep all day on a Sunday. You understand? So there's two different parenting styles there. And there's a lot of things that you probably brought in right with you right away that you were not allowing them to do that they were used to do. So they're used to mom. They're used to mom being in charge. Also, let's be clear about something, brother. These boys are not used to seeing their mother with a man. They're not used to seeing their mother with a man. And any of us who had a separated household growing up, whose parents went through a divorce, we know how it is for mom to be dating someone. Whether it lasts a short time or a long time, it's different. Because these kids are 7 and 10, bro. While they were married, those kids were very, very young. They might not even remember what was going on when dad was there. They don't know what it's like for mom to be hand in hand with a man, for mom to show a man affection, for mom to be kissing on a man, for mom to sleep with her door closed. Bro, it's a good chance that a couple years ago, those kids were jumping in her bed sometimes at night and sleeping with her. Now they can't. She's in the bed with you. Bro, she's wearing negligee perhaps, huh? She might be sleeping in the nude. Now here you go. So kids will build up resentment towards the person that they think have interrupted all these things they were allowed to do, right? Now you and I both might think, man, they 7 and 10 years old. There's no reason they should have still been sleeping in the bed, even if it was 2 years ago with her. But like we said, mom is going to allow certain things that dad's not going to allow. Plus, any of us that have sons, we know the son don't want to get in the bed with you. None of my kids want to get in the bed with me, bro. But they'll get in the bed with their mother. You understand? So now mom's acting different as well. And it might be in a good way. Let's just say it's in a good way. She's happier. She's a little more giddy. She's laughing at your jokes. You guys take walks together. You're hand in hand. She gets dressed up all pretty and you guys going on dates. They haven't seen their mom do that. Think about that. They haven't seen their mom do that. So just the change in their mother can cause them to act out because they're not mature enough to say, hey, bro, I'm a little troubled by this because on Friday nights, me and my mom used to sit here and watch Netflix and eat popcorn. Now she's in a room with you all night, bro, and I can't even go in there. My mom used to take me out and play basketball all the time, bro. And now I got to go with my brother. Now she's at the house and that's cool, but that was our alone time. And I don't get that as much anymore because you're around. So they build resentment up towards you. You understand? So, bro, you got to understand that you came through and changed things. Now, you'll have a lot of guys that'll say, hey, bro, don't ever become a stepdad. Never become a stepdad. Don't ever get with somebody with kids because they're never going to respect you like you should be respected. It's a thankless job. It never ends up well. Bro, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Because everything happens for a reason in your life. There are a lot of men who have been brought up by really good stepfathers. And although they might not have appreciated them at first, down the line, they always show appreciation for that man. Now, is it thankless sometimes? Yes, it is. But being a biological father is just as thankless. I don't know why people act like it's so much different. Trust me, it's no different, bro. It's no different. They might just look like you when you're the biological dad. But to say that it's so much different, to say that you get respected so much more, to say that you get adored so much more when they're biologically yours, that's not the case, bro. Please don't ever think that. Don't ever think that all these dudes that had babies in their own home and they were there since they were born, that they're so heavily appreciated. It's not like that, man. I just got to be honest with you. All right. So you said that you're having to put the smack down on them and that's causing issues with you and the kids. Now, bro, we already talked about some of the things that have already changed, right? So they're going through this huge change. It's a huge change. Again, change for the good, but a huge change nonetheless. So what happens is not only are we not allowed to sleep with our mom, but we got a bedtime now. We got to turn the TV off by a certain time or we're going to get punished. Not only can I not watch Netflix on Friday night till 12 o'clock or till whenever I fall asleep on the couch with food, now I can't eat food in the living room. I got to eat it at the dinner table and I got to be in the bed at a certain time. And I can't just fall asleep on the couch and get up whenever I'm ready. Bro, if you're a real masculine man, you came with boundaries. You came with boundaries. And listen, this is the thing. At 7 and 10 years old, they don't understand that you want them to be better than you. They don't understand that. They can't understand that, bro. Like, listen, I just want y'all to do better than what I did. I'm going to make sure you guys live a better life than what I did, whatever your life was, bro, because everybody didn't have a bad upbringing, but you still want them to do better. You still want them to do better. If your first car was a beater at 17, you want to get them a new car when they're 17. If you weren't able to play baseball at some point because your grades were bad or your parents couldn't afford it or they just didn't have the time, you don't want your stepkids to go through that. They don't understand that yet. They don't understand it, fam. Because all they think you're doing is putting in a whole bunch of rules because you want to punish them. They don't understand that you want them to become great young men. And to do that, you have to have some discipline. You have to have some manners. You have to have some things set up, bro, so that you can move smoothly through life. But if no one does it for you, it's real late when you learn. They don't understand that yet. They think you're just trying to punish them. So you're in a tight spot, okay? So they think you're taking their mom away from them. They also think that you're giving them a bunch of rules and regulations and then punishments and consequences that they don't deserve because they don't understand why they can't just have their feet up on a coffee table and eat popcorn and drop stuff everywhere. They don't understand because before mom might have yelled, but she'll just clean it up, right? They don't understand why you're making them do chores. Oh, we had to clean up our room before, but mom helped us with it. Nah, you got to do it yourself now. So a lot of their resentment towards you and why they're putting up a wall, bro, is because they don't understand. You understand what I mean? It's not that they don't like you. They don't understand. And again, bro, if your boss told you could work from home, you can work whenever you want, you have a hybrid schedule, and you can take off whenever you want. And you did that for 6 months. And then he comes in one day and says, you know what, I need you back in the office. I need you there from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and you're not going to have any days off for the next 6 months. You're going to feel some type of way, bro, and you're a grown man. You're a grown man, okay? Now, what's troubling about the letter that you wrote was that you said you're putting a smack down, and now it seems like your wife is not backing you like she should, right? Because you guys were standing beside each other, seemed like you were a united front, and now you're having issues with the fact that she's not behind you. Seems like she's almost not knowing what side to pick, so to speak, right? Now that's a problem. I'm not going to act like that's not a problem, bro, because you cannot do this alone, just like she can't do it alone. And I tell any of the parents that I work with, bro, that you cannot be on separate sides of the coin. You cannot be. They have to know mom and dad are together on this. Now, if you don't agree, bro, y'all do that in silent. Y'all do that in the privacy of your own bedroom, bro. But you can't disagree in front of them. And I understand you probably know this concept, but maybe she doesn't. Again, bro, she was married, but it failed as well. So you don't know what was going on that last year or two they were together, right? And now the boys are 7 and 10. So she doesn't have the experience that you think she should have with raising these boys in a healthy situation that causes for her to stand beside her guy. Right? All right. So the fact that she's not standing beside you is a problem, and you need to talk to her about it. You need to let her know, like, listen here, I'm here to do a great job. I love these kids. I want them to be successful. I cannot do it without you. I cannot do it without you. I cannot be in this situation feeling like I'm all on my own. I cannot feel like when I'm handing out punishments, you're going to go behind my back and go over top of my head. I cannot feel like that. Also, the kids cannot think that, because they will just play me. They'll play us against each other. We'll be fighting and we'll go through it. Now, bro, I have to let you know something about women. They don't like to see their kids unhappy. They don't like to see their kids unhappy. And if you ever notice, whatever adult makes them unhappy, they then form a vendetta against the adult, whether it's a coach, a teacher, a parent, a bus driver, a stepfather, a grandmother, an uncle, an aunt. Whoever makes her kids unhappy, she will then be unhappy with. And bro, that's her nature. Think about that. She was designed to nurture her children. She was designed to make sure that they stayed fed, protected, and happy. So when someone makes them unhappy, it's unsettling for her. You understand me? See, you thought it was personal. I would have too. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would have thought it was personal. But bro, it's not personal. She probably did this with her ex-husband. How about that? How about if you talk to him, he'd probably tell you that they went through it over the kids just a little bit, right? Different ideas about how they should be bringing them up. But she's going to go through it with anybody that makes the children unhappy. Okay? Now, can it stop and will it stop? It can stop. But she has to realize that they're going to be unhappy sometimes. So you have to let her know, sis, hey, listen, I'm a guy. We have sons. They're not going to be happy with me all the time. It's sometimes I'm going to have them doing yard work and it's going to be hot out and they'd rather be off riding their bikes. It's sometimes that I'm going to tell them they can't do something or they can't buy something and they know we have the money. It's going to be times that they get consequences for things they do in school and they're not going to be happy about it. But I have to do it because that's the only way that boys learn. Boys learn through consequences, not through a bunch of empty threats. You can't tell them you're going to do stuff and then never cash in. That's not how that works. So talk to her and let her know why you're doing what you're doing and that you have to do what you're doing, right? And you have to let her know, I understand that you don't want to see them unhappy, and that's okay, and I get it. But you are going to have to allow me to make them unhappy sometimes. And then you have to talk to her about this. I cannot lead the family if I can't parent these boys correctly. I cannot lead the family if I can't parent these boys correctly. That's part of my leadership role. That's part of my duty as your husband. I didn't come into this just to be your husband. I'm now a father. There's no, and it's nothing wrong with telling her, hey, and I'm not perfect at this. There's books I could read on it, but there's no real handbook. There's no perfect father. You may have to explain to her how you were raised, because you was either raised one or two ways, bro. You either had a father figure in the home and he shaped the way you are right now as a father, or you didn't have one, right? And that causes you to do a lot of the things that you're doing. So you have to let her know about your upbringing and why you are the way you are with them. Also, women like to hear your future plans for their children. They like to hear your future plans for their children. So when you tell them, hey, listen, little Bobby, I think he's going to be a star at something. He's great. He just got to learn to calm down because he's very emotional. Anytime he loses a game or something doesn't go his way, he wants to fight. And he can't be that way. Because if he's a guitarist, if he acts on Broadway, if he's a football player, if he's a fireman, when he has a bad day, he can't react like that because he'll never succeed. Normally, when you sit a woman down and talk to her about your plans for her children, she gets a better understanding of what you're trying to do and how much you love them. Then also, when you talk to her about being a leader for your family, she can also understand, oh, you know what? I didn't think of that. I didn't think that. I didn't realize leading the family means leading everyone in the house. Then also, when you talk to her about your upbringing, fam, you are able to explain to her why you are the way you are and where it came from. Most likely, she's also going to tell you what her experience with her father was, or a father figure, or no father figure, or the fathers in the neighborhood. You understand? So it's very imperative that you guys have a long discussion, and you have to tell her how you feel. And bro, a lot of us have had to have this conversation. Sis, if I cannot parent these boys, you and I will not last too long. We will not last too long because you will not be allowing me to do my job correctly. Now, bro, as we talked before, I don't think this is a thankless job any more than being a biological dad. Talk to any biological dad and they will tell you, bro, you getting socks on Father's Day, homie. I don't care if you done paid tuition, bought cars, leased apartments. You still getting socks on Father's Day, whether they're biologically yours or not. The satisfaction comes from those kids succeeding in whatever area they choose to go into. Right now, they're 7 and 10. All they really have is their education in sports. But they need to succeed in that. So you have to understand, bro, you just like you need to have boundaries for your own life, they need boundaries as well. Where would they learn have boundaries if it isn't from you? Now, obviously, the best way to teach them how to have boundaries is to have some for yourself, right? It's easier to show them than to tell them. But if you establish some for them and they learn how to live within boundaries, it's very easy when they become young men and get out of your house. Because let's be clear about something, and this is something else you can tell your wife. Sis, they're going to have our grandchildren at some point. What type of grandchildren do we want? And that's going to be largely because of the men that they become. What type of mothers of our grandchildren do we want? They are going to select women who fit within their boundaries and parameters. And if we do not set them for them, what type of women will they choose? Now, if she can't understand all that, bro, you might have made the wrong choice. I ain't going to hold you. But it sounds like you don't really have too many problems with her. It's just problems with her and how you guys are parenting the kids. So, bro, I would say in blended families, I would say the percentage of stepfathers that have issues with how they parent, how they discipline, how unhappy they make their kids, well, it's probably 70 to 80% of stepfathers go through this. And I would say probably the other 20% just lay down and let the kids do whatever they want. Bro, if you're a masculine man and you have good habits and you have good traits and you have good characteristics and you have boundaries and you live by some principles, you are going to come and shake things up. You are going to come and shake things up, and that's okay. But you stay the course, bro, and you can continue to communicate with your lady. Be transparent. Allow her to know why you're doing what you're doing and that you're not going to bend your rules just to make them happy. Hey, dad's job is to make them do yard work, bro, and learn how to run a lawnmower. Mom's job is to make them some ice cream at the end of the night, bro. It is what it is. You understand me? She's always going to be celebrated more than you. It's never going to stop, bro. It's never going to stop. Hey, that's never going to stop. But one day they will come and say, you know what, Step Pops? I'm glad you did what you did. Because if you didn't show me how to work this lawnmower, bro, I couldn't have started my landscaping business. How about that? You know what I mean? So to all my young guys out there, a lot of you guys are dating a woman with children. But how do you come across women with children? You say to yourself, I don't know if I'm ready for this this stepdad role is a little rough, bro. I don't know. Niggas told me some bad stories about being a step pops. I understand that. If the woman is a great woman and she's great to you and she's a good human being and you can see yourself down the line, if you can see yourself with her down the line, I wouldn't let the kids discount you guys establishing a relationship. I wouldn't let that happen because she's a good human being who obviously was special enough that someone wanted to procreate with her. You understand? So she ended up with children, bro. And most likely she's taking good care of those children. You passing up on her is telling the universe, oh, I want good women, but only if they come without children, only if they come without baggage. You're limiting your options. Just telling you the truth. You're limiting your options. And bro, to be honest with you, being a stepfather is going to mature you. It's going to make you look at life different. And bro, let's be honest. Those of you who have children know that life changes in a positive way and it never goes. You always have these people that need you, right? So you operate so much differently. So for those of you that don't have children and you're dating women who have children, bro, you might end up in a real special situation. That doesn't mean you can't have your own children as well. But don't count it out just because she has kids. If she's a bad human being, she's a bad human being. You shouldn't be around her regardless. The kids never make the girl a bad choice. Don't let anyone tell you that. Now, if she has 4 kids to 5 dudes, that's too much. That shows poor selection. That shows she can't maintain a healthy long-term relationship. That shows that she's probably all over the place. That's a little different. But most of you guys aren't in that situation. You understand? So that's kind of how the cookie crumbles, man. But listen, we start with ourselves. We become the men that we're supposed to become. When we insert ourselves into a blended type of family situation, we're going to benefit everybody in the situation. So that can never be a bad thing. And bro, listen, the worst thing that happen is it don't work out. People get divorced every day, B. The worst thing that happen is it don't work out. And that's just what it is, man. You don't have to feel sorry that it didn't work out with a woman that had children. You're not less of a man because of that. That's not really the case. All right. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in with your boy. Now, let me make sure to help you understand something. There are a lot of people in this man's situation, blended family, stepfather type situation, going through it with mom. Marriage might be on the rocks because of the kids. And you might not know where to turn. You might need someone to talk to about establishing some methods to where you can get back on track with your wife and back on track with your family. If you are that guy and maybe in that situation, go down to the description, book a call with me. We'll get on the line and see if some one-on-one coaching would benefit you. Maybe just some help navigating through being a stepfather. You might be a new father, right? You might not understand how to discipline. They might be used to some different structure than you're putting in their life right now. Might be a whole bunch of things going on. And you just need someone with some experience to help guide you through your now ready-made family. If that is the case, go down in the description, book a call with me. We'll get on the line. We'll talk about it. All right. See if we need to establish a little relationship. Other than that, if you just have a letter just like this young man, or you have a situation, and you want me to put it on a Q&A, you want me to read your letter and get other people's opinions about what's going on in your life, give me an email at coachmark22@gmail.com. That is coachmark with a C, 22@gmail.com. I will get to your letter. I will keep you anonymous, but we'll read your story live, bro. And we'll get not only my advice, but the opinions of others, which is very valuable as well. All right. So email me, be transparent, and see if we can get some advice flowing your way. All right. So it is your guy. Mark my words. It has been a very, very good time. I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me. Your time is very valuable, and so is mine. So anytime you spend it with me, I'm very appreciative. So I'll be back on y'all tomorrow, 8 p.m. sharp. All right. Another Q&A session. That's how we do. Let's get better as men. Let's keep our masculinity on high. Okay. And let's just get 1% better than we were the day before. 1% better than we were the day before. That's all we're trying to do. All right. Appreciate you for hanging out with your guy. It is your boy, Mark my words.